Why is it so sad? Sorry for the delay, everyone. OBS decided to blow up, and I think that's my last straw. I think I'm switching off of Arch Linux for content creation. That still looks depressing as hell. What is going on? Why is my saturation nothing? Okay, interesting. Um, I'll sort that out. That's just far too depressing. Oh, there it is. Well, that's part of it. Still really dark. Interesting. Let's try. Okay. That's good enough for now, I guess. Sorry for the delay, everyone. I was working out OBS issues, and I'm pretty sure they're not like solved. Uh, so yeah, that's fun and something that I'm dealing with currently, I guess. Hey bud, how's it going? Let's pop the chat out here. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that'll be good enough for now. Um, but yeah, I'm getting real sick of stuff just randomly breaking. Maybe go for rusty, boring, and stable. Not that I'd make a case for Debian. Yeah, that sounds like the plan. I just need to get tiling window management working on Debian. I can't go Hyperland, which is a little sad, but I'll just get like a GNOME extension, and that'll have to do because yeah, I don't know. But that'll help. Sorry, I did not get nearly enough sleep. So I've got my dad left some energy drinks while he was here working on the Homelab, and now they're gonna save me from falling asleep on stream. Okay, so I have many very exciting updates from the weekend. We have officially. Can I aim this a little bit more? Oh wait, yeah. I'm just super washed out. I think it's using the camera's using like a film simulation right now, but I don't want to mess with it because it'll flicker because I think that cable is wonky. I clearly I have a very stable setup. Um, yeah, I'm gonna move to Debian and get a GNOME extension for tiling. We'll explore that a little bit today, maybe before I decide to get work done. But really exciting stuff. We are now on OpenSense. Nice. Okay, so that works. That's great. We're on OpenSense, which is fantastic. I've got two access points. I had these old routers. I had used one of them a while ago because my I was running FreeBSD as a workstation, and I couldn't run Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi card didn't work. There we go. Yeah. So I set up this like old router as an access point to basically run Ethernet from, well, I mean, it was literally Ethernet. It's not scare quotes Ethernet, to run like a wired connection from the access point to my PC. And so I had that laying around. I also had another one laying around. So yeah. Hey, Klutz, how's it going? Can I? Is that that feels like I shouldn't call you Klutz. How do you? What do you go by? But yes. Anyways, so I've got 2 access points now. Um, running open WRT. So basically all my network gear is open, which is really cool. Gives me a lot more control than probably I should have because I don't know what I'm doing. But we'll talk about the network configuration shortly. I'm very happy about it. It's all of the networking gear and the Homelab stuff is on the UPS now. And there's still a lot to configure. We still have to configure NUT. I can't believe it's called NUT, and I have to set up a NUT master. That can't be legal. Um, but yeah, lots to do, but huge progress. Plus asks, are you already using the new firewall rules on OpenSense? It asks me to migrate, but I'm kind of scared. Everything works for now. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Basically, I've never used OpenSense before, so I bought the little Protectly device. It came with OpenSense pre-installed. It looked like a fresh configuration. So I'm using whatever the default configuration is from the 2410 release, I think. I think it's 2410, which sounds old to me, so maybe 2510. Let me take a quick peek. 2510. Yeah, sorry about that. It's Klutz. You're right. I'm doing well. Been too busy on Mondays to make it recently. How are you doing? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Okay, Klutz it is. Yeah, I'm doing quite well. Very happy. I've been having a really great time at work recently. I gave like a presentation and apparently it went over very well. And now there are people looking for my help, which is like the fun part, you know? Hey, Oliver, how's it going? 6 minutes ago. Yeah, I had an OBS issue. So that's fun. Um, yeah, I'm pretty fed up with Arch Linux shenanigans. So I'm really thinking I make the switch. I mean, I'm already ripping out all the Homelab, right? So swapping this desktop environment's not that big a deal, especially given that I mostly run defaults for my editors and stuff, right? So like I don't have a lot of config to move over. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna have to come up with a tiling solution for GNOME. As long as the work is fun. It is, yeah. I'm really quite enjoying it. The features we're building are really fun and exciting to build. I have a very like reasonable relationship with AI at work, which is not something that I think a lot of developers can say right now. Like a lot of places are pushing people to use AI like a ton or like more than is reasonable, and we have like a very fun exploratory way of engaging with it right now. And so I haven't felt robbed of my agency and things, but I also get to play with new tools. So fun. OpenSense 26.1 here. The most recent update asks me to migrate my floating LAN WAN rules. That sounds terrifying. Yeah, I'm not there. I should probably update. How frequently does OpenSense update? Yeah, that's cool. As long as the work is fun, yeah. Pretty good. Don't have to go to school today, so fair enough about OBS. Streaming on Linux is always interesting, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what would be stable. Part of me would love to separate my development machine like workstation from my streaming machine. I know this is really popular for people who like do this. This is like the way people do this if they're kind of, professionals, right? They have a machine that is dedicated to broadcast and there's a capture card running um from the workstation over to their broadcasting thing. And that like I would not be opposed to setting that up on like a Mac Mini, like a fairly powerful Mac Mini. So, but I don't have that kind of cash to blow at the moment. Nice. Thankfully, haven't had to use AI at all at work yet, but it's going to be starting this year soon. So, yay! We'll see how that goes. I found it useful. I haven't like as long as it's not used as an excuse to like, well, you need to be a bazillion times more productive because of course you just have AI, right? If it's like if you can sort of approach it like, oh well, let's find out if like where, if at all, this can be useful, and then you can apply it reasonably, then it's kind of fun. Checking once a month is okay for OpenSense, and it's usually a very guided thing. I like that. Yeah, because well, it's obviously very critical infrastructure, so I don't want it to be messed up at any point. Okay, OpenSense 2510 Business Edition released. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 26 point. Yeah, okay. I see 26.1 released. Cool. Speaking of the Mac Mini, what do you think about the MacBook Neo? The MacBook Neo? What is that? That is that new? That is new. Oh, it's like a MacBook Air but tiny tiny. I think that's what we're going with, so it won't be the worst, I think. Ah, nice. Okay, so is this like let me get my screen going. Um is this like 500 USD MacBook? Welcome to Canada, where 500 USD is 800 Canadian. So this is a MacBook Air even airier. Huh. Well, I mean, affordable computing is good. 800 is a lot. Like 800 Canadian sounds like a lot to me for a an affordable device. How much? So 800, and what are we getting out of it? What are the specs? What are my specs? Yeah, I know. When I bought my Air, it was depressing seeing the $800 education discount purchase going to 1200. Yeah. I see 600 USD in the US. I see. Interesting. I mean it's going to run their M series chips, right? My question is they're running the A8. They run the M series chips on the iPad. Why are we running? Okay. Yeah, my gut instinct is this is like, why wouldn't you just buy a MacBook Pro? Or sorry, a MacBook Air. The MacBook Pros are absurdly, oh, because they're $1,500 now. I feel like, I'm sorry, 8 gigs of RAM and a mobile chip for $800? Are you kidding me right now? Yeah, just buy a used MacBook Air. How much are used MacBook Airs? Hold on, I'm gonna do this off screen just in case I like dox myself again. Um, I'm just gonna go to eBay and see how much a used MacBook Air goes for. Can support more than 8 GB. The board literally won't allow it. Yeah, I think my stance on this right now is don't buy it. Like, what's an M2 MacBook Air going for? Yeah, you can get an M2 MacBook Air, admittedly, 8 gigs of RAM because the default was that. But you can go on eBay and grab an M2 MacBook Air, which is a nicer chassis too, for 800 Canadian. Why would I buy this? And the M4 MacBook Air is 1200 or 1100 at some places with 16 gigs. Yeah. Okay. So my nothing beats a refurbished ThinkPad. Yeah. As soon as you exit the Apple ecosystem, everything gets cheaper. But I do think the like the M series chips are just so good. They're just so good that if you're buying a laptop and you're not a Linux person, then the Mac is a great choice. Um, yeah. All right. So that was a fun detour. Where were we? OpenSense things. Yeah. So I got OpenSense going. Um, I have been configuring my static leases, getting my IP ranges in order, Um, what else? Home Assistant's up and running. Um, what else? Home Assistant's running. We've got some TrueNAS things to do today. My cabling's a lot nicer. Um, everything's on the UPS, but right now it's not got the nice comfortable power down. It's like surge. I don't have nut to do the things. Yeah, it's looking good. My documentation is coming along. Let's poke about that a little bit. Cool. So I'm up here, and so in routing, basically we've got. Can you all see me? Yeah, nice. Basically, we've got trusted LAN on one of the NICs. Guest Wi-Fi. I've got guest Wi-Fi now. How fun is that, right? So I've got guest Wi-Fi, and that's on a separate physical NIC, which is cool. I don't have IoT stuff yet because most of what I do IoT wise is Zigbee, and the rest of it is like Apple Home stuff. And the Apple Home stuff is like kind of needs to be on trusted LAN. So I don't have a need for IoT at the moment. Yeah. I would if my TV had Wi-Fi enabled, I would put that on its own LAN, but I don't. But I have Wi-Fi disabled, and I just use the Apple TV, which doesn't phone home to the same extent as smart TVs. I learned about ACR recently. Apparently, smart TVs just record your screen like constantly and share that information, sell it. So that's cool. I hate smart TVs now, I guess. Um, how do you get that working? The guest Wi-Fi. I just have in OpenSense on my OpenSense device. I have a port, right? And on that port is my dumb access point. Um, so that is just its own network with my guest Wi-Fi. But then I have some firewall rules that let it sort of phone out to the internet. So that's nice. Better disable everything smart at start TVs. Yeah, seriously. I did not realize how terrible smart TVs were. I kind of want to make a whole video on that. What I would love to do is put my TV on a separated, like an isolated network for a bit, and then just watch the network traffic and then see if I could do a video on just like, here's all the stuff that they've got on you, which is absolutely crazy. Yeah, I got a new TCL TV and haven't connected it to anything, just using a home theater PC for everything to avoid that. Yep, that seems to be the way. Um, yeah, it's bonkers. I can't believe it. I can't believe how terrible it is. Okay. Anyways, so some fun stuff. I'm getting my IP ranges in order. So if we do like an IPA over here, you can see that my workstation. Am I streaming the right thing? I am. Good. Okay. I never know. I never know with me. I could be making mistakes constantly. Oops. Let me hold on. Let me get my OpenSense stuff off the screen. I don't I got rid of the WAN thingy widget, so hopefully I don't dox myself. But yeah, you never know when you're me, because I'm just, you know. Okay. Anyways, so we got this here, 10.10.10.50. So this is my workstation's IP address, and it's under static personal devices. So we're slowly getting all of that set up to the ranges that I want them to be in. Installed NTOP NG last year, and the first reveal was Samsung TVs sell you out. NTOP NG. Network top, I guess. That's kind of cool. It's a network traffic probe. Ah, that's cool. Let's Can I containerize this? I'm assuming so. Let's do a little. Okay, I'm gonna play around in Tmux a little bit more again. Is that right? Docs? Yeah, cool. Let's go index. No, not index. Plan. This is done. Change default password on OpenWord. That's done. Done. Okay, probably need to do that. But what else we got? So I want to take a look at. Whoops. Nope. Ntop ng. That seems cool. Okay. What do you recommend for a home theater PC? I have a bunch of extra Mac Minis lying around. I was going to convert one, but can't find a decent interface. Yeah, I tested out. I tested this on stream a while back. What was it called? What's the Kodi? I was testing out Kodi. It took me a while to get an interface that I liked, and by the time I was done, it was really just like a GUI over top of my NAS's like movie database, which is all Big Buck Bunny. But uh, like I don't know, I spent all this time configuring Jellyfin. It felt weird. It felt weird to just use Kodi with NFS connecting to my NAS. So I don't know. And also I wasn't that impressed with the features, but maybe I didn't explore it well enough. I'll take another crack at it at a different time. I love Tmux. It's such a lifesaver at work now. Yeah, I'm a big Tmux fan. I just forget to use it sometimes, which is weird. Does anybody have any other recommendations for home theater PCs? Okay. So yeah, we're all Wi-Fi'd up, all open wort. Kodi has a lot of nice add-ons for the sailors of the Caribbean. Yeah. See, I don't do a lot of sailing, so I don't get a lot of use out of that. But valid, valid. Okay. So what else? What else we got? What else we got today? I think what we're going to do, we have a lot, like quite a bit of work to get. Well, maybe it's less work than I think. Libra Elec is also popular. I gave that a shot. I had trouble with it and just went straight up Kodi, I think. Jellyfin is what I use and just have it running on an Unraid box built out of my old PC parts. Yeah. I had Jellyfin running in an LXC. And I'm gonna migrate that over to Docker because at the time I was running Kubernetes and I didn't want to figure out how to do GPU stuff, like the pass through in Kubernetes. So I just went with an LXC and Proxmox. But now that I'm moving to a Docker stack, there's not really much point. I can just make it a Docker thing. So, anyways, we've got NAST over here, and I'm gonna put him with the rest of the Homelab boxes later. But first we need to do like a zpool export and then migrate to TrueNAS for this guy. So that I think is today's mission. Quick chat. Do I really need to do a zpool export beforehand? I assume I do, but that does add extra steps. So if I can avoid it, that would be nice. I still don't have GPU pass through because I don't have a new enough GPU, and prices are so bad now. Yeah. Hello? Is my file explorer? This is great. So if I try to open files, it doesn't work. That's fun. Yeah, so I'm moving to Debian. I've had enough of this shit. I've had enough of this. Okay, well, we'll do. I think I have TrueNAS in my downloads, right? Yeah, we got TrueNAS 2510 here. So this, let's do a TLDR DD. Make a bootable USB. Yep. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted um, this guy. I think you want to do a zpool export for safety. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't want to lose all my movies. All of my copies of Big Buck Bunny. I think that's the same mini PC that I have. Nice. I mean, it's pretty nice. Like the N100 is just such a great little chip, and this thing was a very affordable, nice sort of premium aluminum-y materials. I was pretty happy with it. Okay, so let's do a little DD one more time. TLDR DD. And we're gonna DD sudo DD if equals this. Yep. OF equals dev SDA. Status equals progress. So we'll run that, and then I'll hook up. I'll hook up the good old NAS, and we'll get started on the zpool export and stuff. I didn't ask. Is anybody else up to fun projects these days? What are you guys doing? It's been a while. I always I always give you all my updates, but what about you? And I know I have a bad habit of moving away from the mic. So if you guys can't hear me properly and I'm moving around too much, let me know. Okay. I'm sorry, $2,000 for RAM? GPU, RAM, and storage are terrible now. That's like all of computing. I'm trying to move away from relying on technology more anyway, so it's not a huge issue. Plus, I just upgraded like 2 days ago. I see. I did not realize that RAM was that crazy. The fact that 3090s are still fetching 1,000 CAD 5 years after, that is wild. 1,000 CAD? Seriously? I passed the iGPU of an N300 to Jellyfin, and it's good enough for real-time transcodes. Yeah, yeah. The that's. Oh no, I've got the i7 GPU that I'm passing through. But the N300 would do work on that. I hear the N100s can do it too. Oh yes, wrong password. Oops. Let me plug in the right thing. Which HDMI cable is that? Test bench. Okay. There we go. How's that look, everybody? Can we see kind of what's going on? Okay, so I don't actually know what to do. So time to Google. Most people here are absolute nerds. Yeah, i7-3770K. Dude, that CPU was such a great deal and lasted so long. So long it was a great like a great CPU. Okay. Your pool mount point. I think they're check for open files. I just booted up. We're chilling. And I don't need oh, I do need to do that. System control stop SMP. Shut down anything that's using it. Still pretty top tier. Yeah, honestly, yeah. That's fine. Those are fine. Don't go HEVC on this one, but AVC X264 should do it. Okay. Cool. Um, let's do one of these. Excellent. And we'll just do a sudo zpool export media bin. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. So we've got no pools, which means we can import them from TrueNAS. So we should be okay. I think. Do we have a backup or are we going the ballsy route? We're going the ballsy route. Because I don't have anything really important on these. Right? Like I have many copies of Big Buck Bunny and old clips from like YouTube videos. So if I lose the YouTube video stuff, that's not a problem. If I lose Big Buck Bunnies, um, I I need to go rip them again, which would suck, but it's not like devastating, you know? I also don't have any hard drives to back these up to or anything, so there isn't much option for me. I really wish I had some options, but here we are. Here we are. Okay, so we can close this, close these. This I don't need that open. Okay. Is Big Buck Bunnies a euphemism or am I tripping? Yeah. So in Canada, it is illegal to rip movies that you have purchased because it's DRM circumvention. So I don't have any movies on my server that require ripping. I mostly use Jellyfin to test things, right? To test that it works, to make YouTube videos about Jellyfin. And so I use Big Buck Bunny, which is like a what is the term? Like a com like it's there's no copyright on it. So I just load up metadata for other movies onto Jellyfin to test that it would work. But the actual file is Big Buck Bunny. See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. So anytime I talk about movies, Big Buck Bunny. My school's library ripped their entire DVD database last year. The DRM, there might not be DRM on the DVDs, so maybe there's no circumvention issue. Or maybe your school's library just doesn't care, which is, like, as far as I'm concerned, it's absolutely ridiculous that it is illegal for me to back up movies that I have legally purchased and acquired. So that's insane to me. But on YouTube, I only talk about Big Buck Bunny because I don't do illegal things. So, anyways, let's take a look at this. Whoops. This has just not moved for a while. I'm guessing that means it's done? Is there any way for me to test if it's actually done? I have no idea. My files doesn't work, so that's interesting. Really loving this release of Omarchi, breaking everything. Yeah, we're gonna move to Debian for sure. I'm fucking sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Does anyone know? Does this look done to you? How might I test this? Like I don't know. Can I do a U-mount SDA? Is that a thing? Yeah, not mounted. Okay, I'm guessing it's done. You're just a normal, upstanding Canadian citizen. That's correct. Oh, hey. Okay. Finally done. I guess we're good now. If anyone has any leads for remote tech jobs in Eastern Canada, let me know. All right. I'll keep check if the process is complete. That would have been the smart thing to do. I think we're good. Files opened. Wow. Isn't that amazing? What is going on? Okay, well, I'm just gonna unplug it and we'll take it from there. Okie dokie. Man, I miss Linux. Do ya? Frequently, I don't. Like this just doesn't work at all. Okay. Okie dokie. TBH stale NFS mounts messing with file managers on Linux happens on all distros. Oh, that might be it. Good catch. Not exports. FS tab. How do I refresh that again? Can I do it? Yeah, I didn't think so. It's not exports because I'm not on this side of it. Unless, well, I have docs for this. I'm looking for FS tab over here. Oh, this is old. Looking for. Let's look over here. Client. There we go. So I've got this single mount for whole namespace. Verify on client. Fixing next day. Okay, there's... How do I refresh on client? I really need to get rid of this linting. Let's do this. Let's render markdown. Okay, whatever. Demon reload. Okay. And manually you mount stuff. Okay. Would that come up? That wouldn't come up through LS block devices, right? Well, let's see. Let's see if this works. Nope. Probably needs a... No? Okay. Nope, mount. Mount grep NFS. Ooh. Sun RPC. I wonder what's causing that. Okay, either way. I'll fix this stuff later. Let's boot up the new TrueNAS guy. If anyone has any idea what that Sun RPC thing is, let me know. Hello? Try lazy. I'm just trying to get into the BIOS on my NAS here, and so I'm slamming all of the keys. I remember having quite a difficult time getting into the bootloader last time. There we go. Okay, I'm in BIOS. Okay, I'm gonna flip you guys over to test bench. Oop. I've goofed. Oh my god, look at this. Slime it real good. Hey Dixie, how's it going? Sorry, let me sort this nonsense out. There we go. That'll do for now. So let's do this. Okay. Man, this thing takes a while to boot up. I mean, luckily it's the NAS, so fast boot times, I guess, aren't that big a deal. But it is a little strange to me. There we go. How's it going, Dixie? You been doing anything with Image lately? We will be soon. Soon. We're making really good progress on the Homelab. I like it. It hasn't gone this fast in a while. Oh yeah, you weren't here. I mentioned earlier we got like my dad came by and we did the full migration over to OpenSense and OpenWRT for my access points. Very happy. All my stuff's on IP addresses that I like within reasonable thought out ranges now. I've got a guest Wi-Fi that's on its own network, which is very exciting to me, and a couple of other things. So network progress coming along great, and we're migrating TrueNAS over. I guess as the title says, we're migrating over to TrueNAS, and yeah, very cool. I'm excited about it. Kernel panic, a good start. Huh. Interesting. And kernel panic, not syncing. That's fun. I wonder what's up with that. Line 29, can't create root etc network interfaces, non-existent directory. Exe decompression failed. Kernel panic, not syncing, attempted to kill. Hardware name, that thing. Okay. Well, let's try that again. We did not do sync. We did not do that. Stupid question. What exactly does that do? And yeah, because it's stuck around. It was sort of stuck for a while. What do we do? Flush all pending write operations. Wouldn't that have been a good idea? Parts of our ISO might have stayed in our USB write buffer. Yeah, okay. So let's just run that again. And then we'll run sync after. Cool. Okay. All right. Oh. That's weird. LibreElec. Why was that the last DD that I ran? Okay. So let's try that again, and this time we're gonna do a sync afterwards. And that's gonna be part of the things I remember to do regularly. A checklist kind of thing. Okay. Sync sudo purge. Flush disk writes and attempts to clear inactive memory and file system cache. macOS only. Huh. Interesting. Flush all pending write operations on a single file to disk. On all disks. Okay, cool. So we should have, what should we have done? Just sync. Okay, cool. All right, well, that'll go. Now, in the meantime, let's take a look. I used to use GNOME Forge as a tiling window manager for GNOME, but yeah, that's fine. I don't know if it's still up to date. When was the last time it was updated? 5 months ago? Releases Oh, release on December. Typing sync a lot of times is muscle memory for Solaris admins. Ah, I see. Okay, so looks like GNOME Forge is up to date. I mean, I don't need a lot of flashy stuff these days. And yeah, that'll probably do. Why are they running it on Pop OS? How is Pop OS doing? Anybody know? Are they still how's their thing coming along? Have they finally released a new version of Pop? What's their most recent versions? Yeah, it's still 2404 LTS, man. So I won't be moving. I did enjoy Pop at one point, but mostly just because it was tiling window management without the hassle. Okay, we'll go this route. Um, what do I need off of this machine? I need my notes. TBH, be boring, use Debian and GNOME. Yeah, that seems to be the plan. Cosmic is so borked. Oh man, that's such a shame. They're putting their new DE on the LTS, and I hear it's going rough. Their new DE choice is still kind of broken. By the way, there's a new LTT video of Linus struggling with Pop again. Amusing to see him fail again. Yeah, that's kind of his shtick, isn't it? Like, just Linus Tech Tips dropping things and being bad at his profession. It's kind of like what his YouTube videos are. Yeah, and it's I do find it really funny how terrible he is at Linux, and but because of his whole like I drop everything routine, I kind of assume that it's part of his bit. You know, he thinks it's like funny to be bad at stuff. I don't know, but yeah. Well, luckily, I documented this a long time ago. Well, not that long ago. But one of my really early videos was, if you go oldest, this. Ta-da! So I guess we'll set this up. This was when I was using Debian testing, so that's why I did it. So I guess the question is, why is this taking so long to load? Everything is so borked right now. Linus sabotages himself. Yes. This time he chooses to install it while being at a LAN party on a broken SSD. Yeah, there we go. That sounds like Linus. Okay, whatever. Whatever. we'll go Debian, and then the choices between Debian testing and just Debian 13. Why are we installing Debian? Oh, no worries. Because I am absolutely sick of Arch Linux breaking, especially Omarchy. I I can't take it anymore. It's like things break all the time. Every time I update, I have a panic attack. I was late to stream today because OBS just wouldn't work. DaVinci Resolve works very glitchy on on Omarchy. That might be a Hyperland issue. It might not be, but I just don't want to be on Hyperland anymore. I'm I don't have time to keep fixing things. Keep fixing these things. I want a Homelab. I want to stream. I want to make my YouTube videos. I don't want to mess with Linux desktop environments. That's not what like is interesting to me right now. Um, yeah, it is saddening. I have enjoyed this experience. I liked this a lot. It was super fun. But yeah, it's just like it just breaks too often. So I've had enough. I've had enough. And like I don't need a Neo I don't have like a Neo Vim thing to move because I just use Lazy Vim now. if I'm just using GNOME Forge, like, I don't know, I'll have some basic hotkey stuff to adjust, but it's not gonna be that bad. I have an old YouTube video of mine, so I can just watch that and figure out how to how to configure it again. Funny thing, YouTube videos acting like um whatchamacallit, like documentation for me. So that's cool. For desktops, Debian testing is at least as stable as other distros, as other distros LTS. Nice. When I tried Hyperland, it was not a great time. Yeah, Hyperland has been super fun. Like it's so zippy and so much fun to use and configure, but I just need stability. People's opinions on Debian versus Ubuntu. Ubuntu does a lot of things for you. Um, and I don't like, there are things that it does for you that I don't really like, and I'd rather just have a Debian system that I get to configure for myself. That's kind of where I'm at on that. I don't have like a huge hate on for Canonical or anything. I don't know, but I'd just rather have full control over a Debian system. What did I miss? Oh, snap. Yes. Yes, I don't want like, what the hell is the point of snaps? We have what's the more common one? What's the one that everybody we have flat packs. Why are we using snaps for anything? I wonder how much I'll make use of flat packs if I'm on Debian. I mean, if we're on Debian testing, I'll have access to newer packages, but we'll see. Like, I might end up with a flat pack version of OBS or something. We'll see. Could be cool. Plus, I know you're on like a recent AMD GPU. Have you read anything or seen anything on NVIDIA GPUs on Debian testing? I've got a 5070 Ti, so I kind of want to see what's up with that. I love to play around in a Marchi, but since I'm not in a need to be productive, I see it more as a playground. Yeah, that is how it feels. It is really cool. I'm glad somebody's working on it. Hey, Tim, how's it going? I'm glad somebody's working on cool stuff like that. I like the idea of it, right? Highly opinionated Hyperland configuration sounds really cool to me, but it's not there yet. It is not there yet, and I just need some stability. Also, I use Debian for like everything I can. And being on Debian everywhere makes me a happy guy. So that's cool. I don't know, maybe I'll try to automate some of the configuration as well. That'd be kind of nice. I have a Mac OS like developer set up install script. That was a YouTube video I made a little while ago. So maybe maybe there's a video there how I'll do some automation for my Debian configuration stuff. Share that out with all of you. So if you want my config, hopefully I'll be able to automate that process. I doubt it'll be that hard. Depends on if there's like CLI stuff for Forge or for GNOME extensions. I'd still go for the NVIDIA proprietary driver, and it has some better Wayland support now. Good Vulkan support is still a work in progress. Okay. Well, I won't be gaming on it, so that's not too much of a problem. Unfortunately, I still have my Windows dual boot for gaming because I like multiplayer. I like competitive multiplayer games and anti-cheat systems. So unlucky, but it's what needs to be done. Hold on, where's this? Yeah, until this figures it out. I guess, I mean, I could play around with some of the gaming-y distros, but the gaming distros are all Arch-based, and it feels like kind of a silly thing to do to get off of Omarchy just to install CachyOS or something and end up with the same problem of instability. Right? That seems silly. I will probably want to move to, what's that kernel? What's the Pika OS is Debian based. Pika OS. Interesting. Gaming out of the box. And it's not Ubuntu based? Built on a Debian base with cherry picked and custom compiled packages. Huh. It's got an NVIDIA ISL. Well, that's nice and comfy. It's got a Hyperland edition. You can optimize almost any distro for gaming. Yeah, true. I think there is a GNOME extensions command. Okay, great. Huh. They have their own Hyperland config. Maybe I'll play with that in a... I don't know. Do I want to deal with Hyperland? Do I really? Like, is this what's causing me problems? Also, is there standard shell? Sorry, let me swap over here. Is there standard shell fish? Interesting. Game mode. Pika kernel manager. GUIs? Neri. I don't think I'm a fan of the scrolling thing, but I don't know. I'll explore a little. Thank you for sharing all this with us. It really makes me excited to learn and explore this world. I just bought an old used industrial PC to expand my Homelab with. That's exciting. I think the PC is from something like a vending machine. It has a double neck and an old Celeron, but I hope it will run OpenSense so I can dive into that. That's awesome. All right, have some fun with that. Let us know how it goes. Okay, so this time we run the sync. There's also ZanMod. Okay, that one I remember I've heard for. If you don't want to optimize the kernel for gaming yourself on Debian-based distros. Yes, I think that's the one I want. Okay. Okay, should be fine. Zen kernel. I've also heard of that one. Okay, so I've heard of both of those. Yeah, I've never done any kernel optimizations. Although, I mean, see, that would be a really fun project, but the problem is I can't stream any of that because this is the workstation, right? Which is another reason that having a broadcast PC would be fantastic. But then I need to buy a broadcast PC, and then I would need to buy a capture card, and then rolling your own kernel package isn't that hard. Isn't that hard? True. I mean, I would have to learn. I mean, it is just a matter of like one more task, right? I believe you that it's not crazy, and I'm sure I could do it. It is just a matter of like, well, what am I planning on doing today? What for this stream? Okay, that should work. Over the shoulder cam. yeah, I guess so. I'm thinking about jumping to Debian-based distros as I got a hiccup with kata containers as a runtime with Podman, but I'm running into OCI issues on Arch. Really? Interesting. What are kata containers? The speed of containers, the security of VMs. I see Kubernetes. I'm a little afraid now. Okay. Third person kernel optimizations. Yeah, I think oops. Test bench. All right. Let's hope for this. Hopefully this time we don't get kernel panic. We're on install number 2, so that's a good sign. Like probably one more and it works. Right? Right? It's a runtime you can use a Docker that is more secure than the default one. I use Podman. My girlfriend's dad was telling me about Podman. Uh-oh. Kernel offset. Okay, interesting. So what is happening? Someone who don't understand. Um, you should, yes, I should add the Discord link in the description of each video stream. That would be a good idea. Um, I will do that for the next one, I think. What's happening? So we're trying to install TrueNAS Scale on my NAS, and it keeps failing. It keeps failing. So that's like really fun and awesome. Uh, I'm gonna see maybe this. Okay. I don't know what's up. I'm gonna try something from my MacBook and see if we make some progress from there. Never made the jump into Podman. The rootless and some of the compose semantics weren't cooperating with some of my self-hosted stuff. Yeah, I tried it once, but didn't get very far. The SSD and the NAS as it wipes. Not yet. I've got a Ventoy USB, and I'm just gonna try popping the ISO onto that from my MacBook and see if that gets me anywhere. We'll see. But what is a kernel panic, for example? Well, I don't know exactly how to explain it. The kernel is the part of the operating system that communicates with hardware directly, and so a kernel panic, my understanding, and somebody more knowledgeable than me might help correct. My understanding is this means the kernel is failing to communicate effectively, properly with some piece of hardware. Either the hardware isn't the way that it should be to take these certain commands, or it's not like, I don't know. It's very low level issues. Something's going wonky. So that's fun. Hopefully it doesn't mean, I mean, we were just in Debian, so the SSD's not broken or anything, probably. So yeah. I don't know. Let's search up. How would one define what a kernel panic is? Easiest explanation. Like a blue screen, the kernel decides to halt in order to prevent more harm. Ah, there you go. So something has gone terribly wrong And the kernel's like, nope, I'm out of here. So, anyways, yeah, hopefully the Ventoy approach works. Copying. Wow, that copy is slow. 5 minutes to copy. Fun. So we'll just hang out for now and maybe keep poking around. So, right, for we could. I'm hesitant. I mean, I like the idea of this. I like that this is like a Debian based distro that's not Ubuntu based, you know? So it's a failsafe kind of. That sounds about right. TrueNAS doesn't always love trying to install over something. Ah, interesting. That's okay. Well, we could wipe the disk from a bootable environment, like a live one of those live bootable environments, and then install TrueNAS over it. I didn't know that. Really, that's interesting. Is there a reason for that? That you know of? Debian SID base with custom patches ensure broad software and hardware support. This does sound awesome, though. I must admit. They're coming up with a handheld ISO. Debian SID based, and it configures a bunch of stuff for me? That's pretty sweet. Oh, we definitely won't be going Cosmic Edition, that's for sure. Dropping to a kernel shell would be fail-safe. Panic is more like basic conditions aren't meant. We could cause data corruption by going on. Let's just stop. Okay. Okay, so looks like we're good. We're good on the Ventoy front. We're gonna try again and see where we go. No reason, just finicky. Learned from my own pain. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Um, this was one of the miracles of Saturday. Saturday is when we did the network change. Um, like it's taking 3 tries just to get TrueNAS scale to install correctly on my NAS. Um, everything just worked the first time on Saturday. Like I don't know. That's miraculous, right? How often does that happen? What the heck? Like the OpenSense device just worked. Both OpenWRT devices, both of the access points I wanted to install OpenWRT on were one supported and two installed perfectly fine the first try. Um, like it was crazy. How often do things play out that nicely, right? Just not often in my experience. And I'm not even talking about just me fiddling about on stream. It's most things I do take time, like take multiple tries. Maybe I suck. Maybe I suck. I don't know. Could be that. I don't think it's that I suck though. Pika OS even has a Neri setup. Yeah, maybe I need to give Neri a shot. I'm not going to do it on my workstation, but I'll do it in a VM or something because people keep talking about it. But the scrolling window manager feels like what I love about tiling window managers is how quickly I can snap to known locations. This scrolling thing sounds like a great way to lose where you put something. It has a guide at least, yeah. OpenWrt release support equals usually no problem, smooth sailing, OpenWRT snapshot, prepare for disaster. It has a guide at least. Pika or Neri. Yeah, the OpenWrt installation was just amazing. And it really is a delight to use. Um, I've used it once before, so it wasn't I wasn't starting from scratch. Yeah, that's why you scroll, so you can find it again. Yeah. What distro do you use? Right now, I'm on Omarchi, which is just Arch Linux with a bunch of stuff on top of your, like an opinionated Arch Linux Hyperland setup, right? Um, excuse me? Sorry, my NAS skipped right past Ventoy. So I guess that's not working. We are having a time. Wait, I think last time we did this, um, we had problems. Like when we set up the NAS initially, it was quite a struggle. Um, maybe yeah. All right, I'm just gonna, and I think it didn't take to Ventoy for some reason. So I'm gonna run this with good old Belina Etcher, um, and see what happens. Took me 5 separate weekends to move the Unify console because it would constantly brick out and only reverting was the only path. Oof. That I would be so mad if that was happening to me. When I was younger, I had like a really bad temper when things weren't working. Like if I had a timeline in my head for how long something was going to take to be up and running properly, and something broke and I was kind of like getting tired, I just lost it. It was so bad. if if it took me 5 separate weekends to do something that I had like planned for one weekend, like if this network thing that we were doing this weekend hadn't just worked, I would have been upset. I'm with you, man. That sounds like a bad time. I'm actually never heard of it, but base is Arch. I'll look into it. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm to be clear, I'm thinking about migrating off of it. It is not stable enough for me to do content creation. So I think it's a cool idea with some problematic developers. But yeah, I'm moving over. Is OpenWrt easier to understand and start learning some networking on over PF/OpenSense? I'm not sure. What I do know is that OpenWRT is um, you can install it on consumer grade hardware, right? So like if you have just an old router laying about, you can install words. You can install OpenWRT on it very easily. OpenSense requires much more kind of like strict hardware. Ventoy can mess up disk enumeration. Some installers want to use the boot USB as the install target because it comes up first when using Ventoy. Okay. Been using mainly Ubuntu base or NOS has been my favorite. What I keep coming back to. Nice. Yeah. I've recommended Zorin in the past. I think a lot of the Ubuntu based distros are very comfortable, very nice to use. Rarely coming up against issues, and so I'm moving in that direction. I just prefer Debian stuff because I like a little bit like Ubuntu does a lot of things for you, which is really great if you don't want to have to worry about it. But some of those configurations I disagree with. I can't remember them off the top of my head. I just know that I want to kind of start from Debian and make that. That tends to make me a happy camper. So we'll take it from there. See what's up. I'll probably put out a YouTube video on that when I get it going. I know I haven't done a video in a while. I've been doing the Homelab thing. I've been enjoying streaming mostly these days, so but I'll get back to it eventually. I will. Hmm. OpenWrt Lucy interface has simple defaults and is really clean. I can attest to that. That was my experience. I ran OpenWrt as my router on this guy for a good 6 months or so, and it worked just great. OpenWrt Lucy interface, yeah. OpenSense pfSense provide more options, and its firewall is stateful by default, making it harder. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. Um, that's the great thing, eh? You can make any distro what you want for your needs. Debian or Arch, always good starting points. Indeed. Yep. I need more stability. So Arch based, not where I want to be right now. Not where I want to be. Also managed to get my 3 HDDs, 2 terabyte drives in RAID 1, I believe. Got to keep that data safe. Very nice. Yeah, we'll see. I'll update you all on what I end up doing. Okay. My USB is ready to go. So let's try this again. Let's pop over here. Nope. Yes, test bench. Do I know a person who ran her NAS on Arch Linux with ButterFS. That was courage. You got to know your stuff a lot better than I do to be doing things like that. Currently got a Ugreen DXP 4800 Plus running 4 or 5 terabytes in RAID 1. It's running stock Ugreen OS. I know I should change because it's all the pinging of Chinese servers, but it's so easy to use. I mean, hey, if it works, I'm not here to judge. You're further along than I am, that's for sure. Okay, let's hope this works. I think somebody else in the chat. I think somebody else is on the Ugreen DXP 4800 Plus. I hear it's quite a nice device. Tim Rambo. Ah, yes. Come on. Why does this thing boot so slowly? So slowly. There we go. Okay. Start TrueNAS scale installation. And this time, maybe no kernel panic. Huh? That'd be nice. Right? Maybe. Maybe. All right. So we're at the Squash FS step. It's very nice. The hardware specs for price are very hard to beat on a pre-built device. Same specs on a Synology will run double the price. Is the NAS the zimaboard? No, not this time around. Oh, I think we're getting our kernel panic again. Ooh, there's a material theme for Lucy. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at that. This looks like it's about to fail. It's not. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, I love this. Multiple drives to provide redundancy? No, absolutely not. TrueNAS installation drives are not available for use in storage pools. Yep. So we just want the NVMe. Oh, sorry, Dixie. I just sped right past your comment. No, this is not the Zima board. I've got that up in my drawer. I will be using it for something. I don't know what I'll be using it for. Yeah, I don't know what I'll be using it for, but I will use it for something because it is such a cool device. I really did love it. So we'll play around with that and see how it goes. Also, in the meantime, I gotta add that to my to-dos. Where's Plan MD? Lucy theme material. I do love a good theme. Thanks, Plus. It's all in Lux and gets auto-mounted with some encrypted keys, so I don't have to remember a 40 plus passphrase. Nice. Okay. Very happy that this is working. Hopefully, so far. Right? Yeah. I think there is something in front of your screen. Let me just, here. I made it a little, I kind of stretched it out earlier. So, there we go. That'll help. Okie dokie. Now I'm curious. What would I do? What would I do with my configuration? It's been so long since I tried Debian testing. Not that long. It's been like a year and a half. I'm never. I know one thing. I will not be running FreeBSD as my workstation ever again. No, you have to look around something when looking at. Oh yes, yes. I have the desk view camera right here, and my screen. It's kind of like this. So I have to look up and around. Eh. No worries, no worries. It's always difficult to communicate things over text. Yeah. So, oh yeah. So we've still got a lot of fun things to do. The workstation update will be big. Maybe that's something I'll do this weekend. See what I need to save off of this PC. What else? Always good to keep the neck muscles going. Oh yeah, got to keep them strong. Yeah, I'll see what I need to save off of this PC. I don't think a lot. Like my notes are important to me. Oh, yeah, it is stale NFS mounts causing me problems. Interesting. Yeah, am I really gonna lose that much? I don't think I will. I always keep my workstations fairly lean, so should be fine. I'll lose a bunch of thumbnails, but they're all going to be on Canva, so I won't lose them proper. We're getting a new PC? No, no, no. Same old PC, just new operating system. New distro. Call me a pessimist, but better reserve some time for ripping Big Buck Bunny again. Yeah. Oh, that's one thing that's going to be a pain. I'm going to have to redo the what was it? What's the application we've been using for that? Handbrake? The okay, the handbrake thing, the handbrake configuration that allowed for not needing God, what's the other guy? My memory is just shot today. Um, start TrueNAS. Oh, oops. The other one. The other one for ripping movies. We'll have to get that configured, and that was a bit of a pain last time, so I'm not really looking forward to doing that. But what are you going to do? How much storage does this build have? What hardware is it based on? I've got it's like an N100 mini PC, something like 16 gigs of RAM. Nothing crazy. I use it just for storage. It's not the compute. And yes, the axe keys for libax. Yes, that's what I need. Make MKV. Thank you. Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. So yeah, we're gonna have to reconfigure all of that nonsense. That's not a huge deal, though. There are worse things to do. Better reserve some time for ripping Big Buck Bunny again. Yeah, truly. Hopefully the Z-Pool imports just work. That would be the dream. I'll make a document for the migration, I guess. Okay. All right, things are starting up properly. Make MKV is great. Ripping at all my 4K discs and self-hosting on Plex is amazing. Yeah, so Plus introduced to me the fact that you can forego make MKV entirely on Linux with libax, which is entirely academic, by the way, because DRM circumvention is illegal in Canada. So yeah, well, I tested it out for academic purposes. Just couldn't get along with Jellyfin. Ah, fair enough. I've never used Plex, so when I was on Jellyfin, and everything just worked for me. So I was like, I had no need to explore Plex. I know a couple of people who were like big. Actually, I had some friends who were working at Plex for a bit. They were big Plex fans, and I think a little bit disappointed with some of the directions Plex was going, but weren't excited to move to Jellyfin either. What? Out of curiosity, what about Jellyfin wasn't working for you? If the keys are known here, you can use it on anything that uses libax, strictly academically speaking. You can use it on anything that uses libax. Strictly. Right. Let's go ahead and grab that while we can. Whoops. We'll need to find a tutorial about that again in a bit. Okay, everything seems to be going okay so far. You guys are all still seeing that, right? Yeah. Yes, all strictly academically speaking. As a former academic. Wow. What a long load time. Is this normal? Does anyone know? Does TrueNAS usually take a very long time to boot up on the first try? I guess I'm not that concerned about it, but it is annoying. Download location. Again, entirely academically speaking. Apparently this, what is IX-ETC? Anybody know? The IX processes and service manager really take some time at every boot. Okay, cool. Well, then I don't feel too bad about it. I guess if your expectation is that this is going to run 24/7 as an application, then you're not too concerned about boot time, right? I could get Jellyfin working, but to have Tailscale on every device before downloading Jellyfin for outside connection is a hassle, and the whole interface felt clunky for me. Yeah, that makes sense. Can you gain access? You can get remote access to Plex easily without Tailscale. Are you and without opening ports? How? That sounds really cool. Okay, what is the process for that? How are you getting remote access to Plex? Sorry for the callback. I'm not a worthless Linuxer if I'm pretty happy in GNOME. No, not not at all. I like GNOME. I honestly think GNOME is pretty good. I just need tiling. That's important for me. So, yeah. Okay, the web user interface is up. Awesome. Very nice. No need to open ports. It uses PNP. Ah, really cool. Okay, I've heard PNP before. What is that? I'm gonna feel silly about that after somebody explains it, I'm sure. But one of my rules about streaming is to do my best not to feel stupid asking questions. I've found that every time I ask questions that I think are really dumb, people are like, "Yeah, I also didn't know what that is. Thanks for asking," and so it's well worth it. I'll reconfigure the web interface at a different time. Woohoo! PNP can go boom. PNP is security hole and a half. I've tried myself, but Tailscale Funnel can expose services without needing Tailscale on clients. Ooh. In effect, UPnP-IGD still opens ports, but it does it for you. Application automatically opens ports. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can import pools. How would I do that? Storage? Pool creation wizard. It's not datasets. It would be here, yes. I don't want to create. Import pool. It finds them. Is it going to work? The idea was good in practice. It's not great if you want tight security. Ah, I see. Okay. Cool. Oh my god. It's working. Just in time, too. I really thought we weren't going to get this up and running today. because it was not looking good, you know? This is fantastic. Wow. Well, I'm just really happy about that. Okay, great. The idea was good impact. Come on, level. I personally do have an open port. I thought you couldn't do the same with Jellyfin. If you can, then it didn't seem as easy to get set up, and always had to use Tailscale on top of. I think if you wanted to open up the ports, then you'd have to do it from your router and do port forwarding stuff. So it would be kind of a pain. Yeah, set up some shares and we're done. Surprisingly seamless. Yeah. Well, that was great. Okay, now my understanding is though that I've got like a bunch of these nested data sets, right? Which was a mistake? Is that correct? Or is this my data set? These are folders and this is the data set? Is that correct? Root data set. Sync. Because I think the difficulty here Unix NFS shares. Oh, click Add to specify NFS client network ranges for the share. If both network and hosts are empty, the share will be exported to everyone. No way. Really? Can I just do... So I can just do... Yeah, that of course, that would make sense, right? And then I don't need to fill out hosts, right? I just share it to the network. And then we save this, right? The path must within a pool mount point. So, oh, my pools don't have mount points yet. Sorry, tell us me what happened now with TrueNAS. What did you migrate and what was the issues that didn't happen? Oh yeah, so basically my NAS before was just Debian and I was configuring everything myself. Now we're we're on TrueNAS and it like the installation process failed a bunch of times. It was kind of a massive pain. Um, so yeah, it just failed a bunch of times. To be honest, I tend to use Plex as just the base host all applications I use, like Plezi, Symphomium, have better app usage and layout, but just connect to Plex hosting in the background. Oh yeah, fair enough. Okay, so I think I don't fully understand the mount point issue I'm having at the moment. Spaceman? Oh, interesting. Cool. Okay, so the path must reside within a pool mount point. Okay. At least as far as I understood Tailscale. I'm not using it. Still using old school OpenVPN behind Portnox. Okay. All right. I'm not sure what this means. Full path to the pool. To the pool, dataset, or directory to share. Okay. Um, I don't know what the path is for these, though. And I don't know how to find that out. I'm surprised it doesn't tell me. No. Can I do this? Sharing root datasets is not recommended. Well, luckily I have data. And oh yeah, I did this twice. I really thought I was going to do AI models, and I didn't at all. So small boy is just YouTube. Okay. I'm surprised it doesn't like recommend me locations. That is kind of annoying, but whatever. Data. Not found. Is it not this? What could possibly be happening here? Add dataset? Parent path. Media bin? Data. / media bin? Data? Data not found. Can I drop into a console? Yeah, whatever. Running jobs. Okay, this is just configuration for widgets. I'll deal with the rest of that later. Used space unknown. Interesting. How do I check where these things are? Oh, wait, I can do it from here? Create NFS share. Path, none. Full path, the path must reside within the pool. Mandatory. Yeah, but... Okay. So somewhere I need to figure out how to mount these appropriately. So that they have a mount point, I guess, but I don't know what that process looks like. And I did promise my girlfriend that I would wrap up so we could go for a walk while it's nice outside. So I think we are going to end here more or less. For a server, okay, permissions issue could be for a server running locally that should be reachable on your public IP. That's classic NAT and can be configured using PNP IGD. Okay. I think we're going to end here. Wait, there's the path. Media bin. It says right there. But it's not. The path must reside within a pool. So I think I need to figure out how that works. And that might be a next. Yeah. I think maybe because I imported because I did the import process for my pools, maybe they didn't get configured the way that they would normally. Let's try something real quick. Delete saved configurations, confirm export. Destroy data on this pool. No. Delete and create new pool. Probably a new one. Yeah. Okay. So if I go import, it appears, right? If I go create pool, I don't want to create a pool. I want to import that pool. But when I import it, it doesn't let me set a path or anything. So then it appears. I can view data sets. This is my path, but supposedly that's not in a pool. Right? And if I go share, we get path none, which obviously isn't it. But from mount, we don't get anything. So they're not, like, these Z pools are not being found here. Like, Something hasn't been detected properly. Okay, I'll search that up and play around. The path is mount slash pool name. Yeah, that's what I tried, and I didn't get that. So here, just to show real quick, we go slash mount pool name, right? Media bin slash data, and then we'll just do this, and it claims that that's not there. So I think my Z pools aren't being mounted properly. Yeah, I think that's the play. I'll come back to this either off stream or we'll kick it next week. I think I'll probably be impatient and configure this later. But yeah, so good progress. We got TrueNAS installed, and the pools are not broken, probably, right? The data all seems to be there, right? So if we drill in, right, well, we can't see the data from here, I guess, but we'll play around with it. So good stuff. And then we'll, yeah, hopefully this will be ready to go. I'll give it the appropriate IP address, plug the sucker down into the rest of the Homelab, right? And then what's left? ASCII for 6 days and 22 hours. What's left after that? I think after that we can actually start focusing on Docker things. So that's fun. We can start building that up. We also have some backup stuff to do. So maybe we'll do the Backblaze thing next. I'll figure it out. Okay, gang. It was fun hanging out. Thank you for sticking with me while everything broke as usual. And we followed the rule. We got TrueNAS scale installed on the 3rd try. So we're bang on. I think three attempts is just par now. All right, gang. I'll catch you all later. Thank you so much for hanging out. And yeah, I'll see you at the latest next week. I might Homelab again on stream soon because I am kind of jonesing for it.